Greek authorities say they have recovered the bodies of the pilots whose helicopter exploded and crashed after it collided with another helicopter during a firefighting mission. This footage is from earlier today, showing helicopters fighting the out-of-control Psatha wildfire west of Athens. One helicopter managed to survive the collision while the two-man crew of the other aircraft perished. The strong winds that were fanning the fires made for particularly perilous flying conditions. We'd like to bring in DW correspondent Sofia Kleftaki, who's close to the site of the collision in Pagadi, just northwest of Athens. Sofia, so mixed results with the search and rescue. What can you tell us about that operation and the role the terrain and weather played here?
Yes, as you said, I'm very close to the incident. Actually, behind me you can see the thick flames, the black smoke. It's all smoky here, it smells. We couldn't drive any further because the street is blocked where the incident happened. So the two contracted Bell firefighter helicopters collided. As for the causes, it's not clear yet, so the incident is under investigation. But what we do know from the four crew members, two were recovered alive and the other two were recovered unconscious. They were immediately brought to the hospital by an ambulance, and by now we know that they lost their lives, unfortunately, which shows under what extremely difficult conditions they had to operate, because those very extreme weather conditions we have, so this combination of the high temperatures we have in Greece in summer and those very strong winds we had not only in Athens but across the country during the last 2 days makes it extremely difficult. And it's very important here to mention that the aircraft couldn't fly, so just the helicopters, for them it's easier to navigate. For the aircraft it wasn't possible. I was just informed that a few hours ago they were possible to fly as the wind calmed down a bit as we speak, and for now the helicopters and all aerial firefighting stopped as it's dark, so they cannot fly anymore anyways, but the battle with the flames continues.
You're painting a very clear picture of the terrible conditions the firefighters are dealing with, and we've certainly heard about gale force winds that are grounding aircraft from refilling at the sea in order to go back and continue fighting the fires. Walk us through what that actually does to a firefighting operation in real time.
Well, we have different types, as mentioned. So the Bell helicopters were in the collision, they could operate. However, we know the vision was not very clear. It's still not exactly clear what happened, so we will wait for more information. But the Canadair aircraft, they could not fly at all. They need very calm conditions. They need calm sea in order to scoop the water and to drop the water afterwards. And with the winds, the waves were so high that was not possible at all, so they had to stop. It was forbidden because of the strong winds to operate, and it was also stated at the statement of the Greek Prime Minister.
Sofia, just hours before this crash, in a Facebook post, the Greek Prime Minister you just mentioned, Kyriakos Mitsotakis, said conditions were so dangerous aircraft couldn't safely operate. Again, he apparently made that post hours before, and yet those two aircraft were still flying. What are people making of that?
Exactly, he made the post earlier, warning, and we had also yesterday the Minister of Climate Crisis and Civil Protection stating that the emergency response system is pushed to its limit. So today, Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis urged people again to follow the evacuation orders, but still also highlighted how difficult it is. And actually, what he said is, despite all preparation that Greece has done in the last year especially, let me bring up here that Greece is the only country that has a national AI fire warning system, the Aurora attack. So despite all that preparation, despite using AI, despite having fighter aircrafts, etc. It's not possible to be stronger and to fight this strong weather. And the winds, I can tell you, yesterday, today as well, maybe you can hear it a bit in my microphone as well, they were so strong you could not stand it. You felt it pushing the body. You saw trees bending, which made it even more difficult to operate as the wind changed direction. So the crews on the ground were the ones that had to make the biggest part of the operation as the other aircrafts, and it couldn't fly. So this shows that they were really not just pushed at this limit, but forced to operate limited.
Understood. We only have about half a minute, Sofia, but big picture here, between the homes already lost in these fires, new evacuations on Kefalonia, and this collision, how much control do authorities feel they have over this fire tonight?
In Kefalonia and in other islands as well, Crete, Paros a few days ago, throughout Greece. So it looks they are not only at their limits, but really feel that this is a huge tragedy here. We lost 2 firefighters on Crete, 1 on the mainland in Crete, and now this incident, which is not only showing how difficult it is to deal with it, but also showing and acknowledging by the Greek government that they're actually saying we cannot do it anymore. Let's hope for the best, and of course thanking the rescuing crews.
DW correspondent Sofia Kleftaki. Thank you, Sofia.